We have two examples of Intel's Classmate laptop. This is their second generation, and now features what they call two SKUs, basically two different models aimed at two different markets. On the right-hand side, we have their 7-inch screen. On the left-hand side, we see a 9-inch screen. Both feature similar hardware otherwise. Classmate is designed as a reference specification for OEMs. OEMs, whether they're in emerging markets or here in the States and other mature markets. Expectation is that OEMs here in the States and Europe will be picking these up shortly and will begin distribution through retail and educational channels. We do see some enhancements over the first generation Classmate, obviously the 9-inch screen now available. On the keyboard, we see some further enhancements, including a personal request of mine, though I'm sure they didn't do it just for me, a right-hand shift key. Instead of the former oval trackpad, we now have a more traditional rectangular trackpad with an actual scroll bar. Not surprisingly, these have Intel inside. Again, they're looking at the 900 megahertz Celeron M model that powered the previous generation Classmate. It won't be until the third generation comes along that we expect to see some different Atom processors. On one side, we have a microphone input and audio output and a single USB. Inside, we have Ethernet in, we have another USB port, power, and this time around, if we can get it open with only one hand, we have an SD card slot that's not hidden underneath the cover. And there it is. Previous generation Classmate had it hidden behind the handle, which is still present. Classmate also features now available a 6-cell lithium-ion battery for up to 5 hours of battery life. More interesting features of the Classmate software stack, as Intel calls it, is now their usage monitor. Users can launch My Storage. They can keep track of what's happening on their disks. In terms of disk space, this is especially important as these can still be had with 1, 2, and 4 gigabyte flash drives. And this particular model has a 30 gigabyte PATA drive. Users can also directly back up their user data. This is especially important and is available right here from this wizard. The backup can then, right from a flash drive, can be restored directly to the hard drive. As I noted, both of these particular models have the 30 gigabyte PATA hard drives available in them, unlike the previous models I tested that only had 2 gigabyte flash drives. Intel has found in testing that there is no real difference in durability between the two, and in fact the cost differential is nominal as well, so this will be an option for OEMs. You'll notice that both of these models are running Windows XP Service Pack 2. It's an obvious choice. According to Intel, they're working hard with Microsoft to move the next generation of this type of platform onto future Windows software. Obviously that means no Vista for now. Intel's also been working, as they had on previous generation Classmates, with several operating system vendors. We expect to be receiving an Edge Ubuntu model fairly shortly for review. There will also be Mandriva and Metasys Linux models available to OEMs. One thing of note, on the Linux models, they have a full implementation of 802.11s mesh networking. It tells me that it's still safe to drop these, even though they've switched from solid-state drives to the 30 gigabyte PATA drive on some models. Yes, only one way to find out. In addition to setting up my own kid's little toy, let's see how it looks. We'll give it a second. And there it is. Well, I guess you really can drop it. And one final feature worth noting, a built-in webcam at the top of the screen.